Now read about one of George's neighbors, Mr. Catanzara, and a conversation between them. Part 2. One time, while on his walk, George met Mr. Catanzara coming home very late from work. He wondered if he was drunk, but then could tell he wasn't. Mr. Catanzara, a stocky, bald-headed man who worked in a change booth on an IRT station, lived on the next block after George's, above a shoe repair store. Nights, during the hot weather, he sat on his stoop in an undershirt, reading the New York Times in the light of the shoemaker's window. He read it from the first page to the last, then went up to sleep. And all the time he was reading the paper, his wife, a fat woman with a white face, leaned out of the window, gazing into the street, her thick white arms folded under her loose breast, on the window ledge. Once in a while, Mr. Catanzara came home drunk, but it was a quiet drunk. He never made any trouble, only walked stiffly up the street and slowly climbed the stairs into the hall. Though drunk, he looked the same as always, except for his tight walk, the quietness, and that his eyes were wet. George liked Mr. Catanzara because he remembered him giving him nickels to buy lemon ice with when he was a squirt. Mr. Catanzara was a different type than those in the neighborhood. He asked different questions than the others when he met you, and he seemed to know what went on in all the newspapers. He read them as his fat, sick wife watched from the window. "What are you doing with yourself this summer, George?" Mr. Catanzara asked. "I see you walking around at nights." George felt embarrassed. "I like to walk." "What are you doing in the day now?" "Nothing much just right now. I'm waiting for a job." Since it shamed him to admit he wasn't working, George said, "I'm staying home. I'm reading a lot to pick up my education." Mr. Catanzara looked interested. He mopped his hot face with a red handkerchief. "What are you reading?" George hesitated, then said, "I got a list of books in the library once, and now I'm going to read them this summer." He felt strange and a little unhappy saying this, but he wanted Mr. Catanzara to respect him. "How many books are there on it?" "I never counted them. Maybe around 100. Mr. Catanzara whistled through his teeth. "I figure if I did that," George went on earnestly, "it would help me in my education. I don't mean the kind they give you in high school. I want to know different things than they learn there, if you know what I mean." The change-maker nodded. "Still and all, 100 books is a pretty big load for one summer. It might take longer. After you're finished with some, maybe you and I can shoot the breeze about them," said Mr. Catanzara. "When I'm finished," George answered. Mr. Catanzara went home, and George continued on his walk. After that, though he had the urge to, George did nothing different from usual. He still took his walks at night, ending up in the little park. But one evening the shoemaker on the next block stopped George to say he was a good boy. and George figured Mr. Catanzara had told him all about the books he was reading. From the shoemaker, it must have gone down the street, because George saw a couple of people smiling kindly at him, though nobody spoke to him personally. He felt a little better around the neighborhood and liked it more, though not so much he would want to live in it forever. He had never exactly disliked the people in it, yet he had never liked them very much either. It was the fault of the neighborhood. To his surprise, George found out that his father and Sophie knew about his reading, too. His father was too shy to say anything about it. He was never much of a talker in his whole life. But Sophie was softer to George, and she showed him in other ways she was proud of him. As the summer went on, George felt in a good mood about things. He cleaned the house every day as a favor to Sophie, and he enjoyed the ball games more. Sophie gave him $1 a week allowance, and though it still wasn't enough, and he had to use it carefully, it was a hell of a lot better than just having 2 bits now and then. What he bought with the money? Cigarettes mostly, an occasional beer or movie ticket he got a big kick out of. Life wasn't so bad if you knew how to appreciate it. Occasionally he bought a paperback book from the newsstand, but he never got around to reading it, though he was glad to have a couple of books in his room. But he read thoroughly Sophie's magazines and newspapers, and at night was the most enjoyable time, because when he passed the storekeepers sitting outside their stores, he could tell they regarded him highly. He walked erect, and though he did not say much to them, or they to him, he could feel approval on all sides. A couple of nights he felt so good that he skipped the park at the end of the evening. He just wandered in the neighborhood, where people had known him from the time he was a kid, playing punch-ball whenever there was a game of it going. He wandered there, then came home and got undressed for bed, feeling fine.